Hey guys, what's up? I'm Jodi with Board Game Perspective, and today we are taking a look at City of Gears, published by Grey Fox Games. This game is all about exploration, area control, worker placement, and engine building. Now in this game, you will be building a city of the future, an intricate system of clockwork gears. Sounds like fun? Let's see how it's played. Alright, so let's quickly go over the setup. We got a 4-player game set up here. You're going to put a 3x3 grid of these city tiles in the middle and put the discovery token on each of the tiles. And these tiles will be face down. And then you'll have a pile of resource tokens. You'll have a pile of the prestige tokens. You'll also have the bag where you're going to put all of the gears in here. But you're going to make sure though to pull out the 5 white opening day gears and set those on to the side. And each player is going to grab of their color everything they need. So you're going to grab a factory board, which you're going to connect to the edge of a city. And each player has 4 dice of their color, but you're only going to start with 3, and the 4th you will put off to the side. And each player is going to have of their color a converter development that they will each stick in this spot up above. And then we got a bunch of workers here. You'll lay down 3 here and have the 3 standing up in the middle. And then you'll have these tokens that are pretty much your ownership marker tokens that you'll have to the side as well. City Gears is played over a series of turns, with each turn being comprised of 4 different things. First thing being producing resources, then you got activating city tiles, then you have performing actions, and then lastly taking care of spoil overages. So first, let's take a look at how we produce resources. So you'll be rolling your dice to get resources. Now let's go over the different resources. We got zaps, which are the lightning bolts. We got steam. We have cogs, which is shown by there. And this is either or, not both. So you can get a cog or a steam. So you're gonna grab your 3 dice, you're gonna roll them, and then you're gonna use the resources as they are shown on these dice here. Now, once per turn, you can use your converter development, which is basically converting 2 resources into one that you chose. At the end of your turn, any unspent dice will be converted into tokens that you will store for your next turn. Next is activating city tiles. Now this is going to be in 2 steps. You're going to activate tiles and then also collect link bonuses. Now in order to activate a city tile, you have to have at least one of your workers present on that tile to activate it. Now also to activate, you also have to pay the cost shown below in the lower left-hand corner. So for instance, this shows you have to pay 1 steam and 1 cog. So from the dice I had rolled, I had a steam and a cog, so I could use those as those resources to pay that. And then when you after you pay and activate it, you gain this benefit here. So with this, I would get 1 zap token and 1 prestige token. You may only activate a given tile once per turn. After activating all the city tiles you wish to activate, you may then collect link bonuses. Now to collect link bonuses, the following conditions have to be true. You did not activate the tile this turn, so these were not activated, for instance. The tile is connected by your gear links to 1 or more tiles that you did activate this turn. For instance, these 2 were not activated this turn, but they are both connected to this tile which we did activate, and they are connected by my color of yellow gear links. So I can collect a link bonus. Now in order to get the link bonus, you do not have to have a worker on these tiles. You only have to have the worker on the tile when activating the city tile. Now the link bonuses are shown at the top of each tile. So for these two right here, the example is I would get a Steam as a link bonus for this one and a COG resource as a link bonus for this one. So I would just simply grab those resources from the supply and I could use those on the turn. Next up is the perform actions phase. Now there are a lot of different actions you can do. You can move, you can draw and place gears, you can overcharge, and construct a new worker. Alright, so let's talk about moving. There are 3 types of movements you can do. You can do standard movement, a rapid transit, or explore. So standard movement is just simply you moving your worker to an adjacent city tile. Now in order to move across to the next tile though, you do have to have a connecting gear with your ownership marker on it. In order to do the standard movement, you do have to pay either a movement token or a Steam to allow that movement. To do rapid transit, you have to spend a zap resource in order to move across any number of your own gear links. So for instance, I could pay 1 zap resource token to move my guy all the way up here. So I moved across multiple of my gear links and moved here. If you want to explore and move across one of your gear links to a face down city tile, you can do that by paying any one of these resources, a zap, a movement token, or a Steam. Now when you do this, you are going to take the discovery token, which is worth 2 prestige, and you are going to flip this tile over, and then you can place your worker there. Next up is drawing and placing gears. Now we rolled these dice here, and let's say I wanted to use both of these cogs. Now what this is going to do is it's going to let me draw 2 cogs from the bag, and then I can choose to do what I want to do with them, and there's 2 options you can do. So one of the things you can do is use it as a gear link. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put it in an open space, and it has to be touching a tile that you currently have a worker on. And you're going to grab one of your ownership markers and put it there so you know that this is your gear link. The other thing you can do is place your gear down here as a development that you can use immediately upon getting, and then after that you will use once per turn. Now this one, for instance, this one says double 1 resource on a die. So you can take that benefit once per turn, and each cog or gear that you can draw from the bag has different things, so you're going to have a bunch of different abilities that you can use throughout the game. Now you can only place a maximum of 2 gears per turn, 1 as a gear link and 1 as a development. Now there is an advantage though to possibly draw multiple gears on a turn. Say I drew 3, that would allow me to see all these different abilities and then choose which one I want and place the 2 where I want them to go. Next up is overcharge, and this is where you can spend zap tokens to remove your opponent's worker and gears. Now in this example right here, we're going to spend 1 zap token to remove the opponent's worker from the city. So in order to do this, I have to be on the same city tile as the worker I am removing. So I pay 1 zap token and I remove this worker and put him back on the player's factory board, and this player's worker still remains ready and available to use, but it just starts from the factory board. Now I could also pay 2 zap tokens to remove the an opponent's adjacent gear link from the game. So I would simply pick this up and remove it from the game. The last action you can take is constructing a new worker. Now the new workers that you can take are from this area right here, and you have to start with the leftmost worker. Now what you have to do is pay the amount here in prestige. So the first one I have to pay 2 prestige, the second one 4, and the last one 6. So for this one I would pay 2 prestige, and this would go back to the supply, and then I could grab my worker and stand them up here in the ready to use area. Now you can only do the construct a new worker action once per turn. After you are done performing your actions, you then take care of spoil overages. Now this is where if you have any resources on your dice left over that you did not use on your turn, you can grab the corresponding resource or resources from the supply and store them on the board. Now there's only one place for each resource that you can store. So here's steam, cogs, and zap. You can only store one of each on these locations. And then you also have a wild right here where you can store a zap, cog, or steam right there on that space. Now there's also movement tokens, which there's no limit, and you store them right here. You also have the option of, instead of storing a zap, or if you need to spoil it, you can turn one zap in to get 1 prestige. Once the 9th and final city tile has been revealed, then the game is coming to an end. So what you do at this point is each person grabs the extra resource dice, and now they will add that to their production dice supply. So each player will now roll with 4 dice. And also, you're going to grab the 4 white opening day gears, and you're going to put them in the gear bag and mix them up. And the game ends immediately once the 3rd opening day token has been drawn. As soon as the game ends, players will go city tile by city tile, awarding prestige to the tile's owner. Now how that's determined is you're going to add up how many of your own gears you have connected to the city tile, plus how many workers you have on the city tile. And whoever has the most will get the prestige in the bottom right hand corner of the city tile. So for instance, to score this city tile right here, we've got all yellow. So there's no red gear links and no opponent gear links and no other opponent workers on this city tile. So yellow is the owner and gets 1 prestige from there. Now let's look at this example here. For this city tile, we've got a worker of each color, and we have 1 yellow gear link and 2 red gear links. So in this example, red has 3 and yellow has 2. So red is the winner or owner of this tile and gets awarded the 3 prestige points. Now if there would happen to be a tie, the tiebreaker is whoever has the most gear links attached to that city tile. Now you will do this type of scoring for all 9 tiles. After awarding prestige to the city tile's owners, then you will look at each player's developments they have and see if there are any in-game gears developments. So for instance, the yellow player has this one right here, which says gain 1 prestige for each movement token you have in your supply, a max of 6. So for the yellow player, they happen to have 3 movement tokens in their supply, so they can get 3 prestige also for the end of the game. After that, each player will tally up how much prestige they have, and whoever has the most prestige is the winner of the game. Also want to point out that in the back of the rulebook, there are setups here for a 3-player setup. This is how you would do it. And then also there is a low conflict 4-player setup for those who don't want to have as much interaction. And there you have it. That is City of Gears. Now if this game looks like something you might be interested in getting, we have a link in the description below where you can get the game. And also, if you like what you saw today, go ahead and subscribe and like this video and tell the world about us. Sorry about that. I'm easily entertained. So thanks for watching today, and we'll see you next time.